Hello everyone, today I'll be talking about population health and disease prevention. This is from chapter 14 of our book. My goal is to show why prevention matters, how it works, and how it connects to the bigger picture of healthcare cost and quality. Population health means improving outcomes for whole groups of people, not just treating individual one at a time. This prevention focuses on stopping or reducing diseases before they occur. Together, they are important because they lower cost, improve quality of life, and make health more equal and fair across different groups. This pyramid shows which prevention strategies have the biggest impact. At the base, we have socioeconomic factors like education, housing, and income. This shape health the most. The next level is changing the context, like making smoke-free laws or adding fluoride to water. In the middle are long-lasting protective intervention such as vaccines. Above that are clinical intervention like medical treatment, and at the top with the least impact is counseling and education. The key point is that broad population-wide changes are usually more powerful than just telling individuals to change their behavior. There are three main models of prevention. Primary prevention stops disease before it starts. Things like vaccines or encouraging health, eating, and exercise. Secondary prevention is about catching problems early, like screenings or screening for cancer or regular checks-up. Next, prevention focus on reducing the harm from disease that people already have, like rehab after a stroke. All three are important, but primary prevention usually saves the most lives and the most money in the long run. COVID-19 is a recent and powerful example of prevention. Vaccines help reduce severe illness and death. Masking and social distancing were ways of changing the environment to protect people. Public health campaigns showed that government and community action can make a huge difference. At the same time, not everyone had equal access to vaccines or protection, which highlights ongoing health disparities in our society. Another big area of prevention is lifestyle. For example, smoking is still one of the leading causes of preventable death. The book's graph shows that people who less education tend to smoke more, which also connects to social factors. Diet and physical activity are also critical. Poor diet and lack of exercise are linked to obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. Encouraging healthier lifestyles helps reduce the burden of chronic illness on both people and the healthcare system. When we look at the leading causes of death, things like heart disease, cancer, COVID-19, and stroke, most of them are chronic conditions. That means many are preventable or manageable with better lifestyle habits and prevent care. Focusing on prevention could lower these numbers dramatically, help people live longer, and also lower the costs of treatment. One of the biggest reasons prevention matters is cost and value. Prevention improves value because it produces better outcomes at lower cost. For example, a vaccine might cost a few dollars, but it prevents a hospital stay that costs thousands. The challenge is that prevention costs money now, but the savings show up later. This makes it harder for health systems to invest in prevention. Still, the big picture is clear. Prevention is a smarter and more efficient investment. To wrap up, chapter 14 shows that population health focuses on groups, not just individual. Prevention works best when it's done on a society wide scale, like with COVID 19 measures, smoking reduction, or healthy food access. Prevention saves money, saves lives, and improves fairness in health outcomes.